Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? Now, at the start, I've said Amanda will be joining me tonight. There's a space right there for her. She will be back in just a moment. We literally started to go live and we've forgotten something that is quite important to the show. So she's rented a house and she'll be back in just a second. How are we all doing? Oh, here she is, as we're blinded by the light.
Sorry.
How are we all doing? Hope everyone is well. Now, as always, I'd like to start off this show by finding out what you've been up to in your own allotments and gardens throughout this week. I think the warm weather has certainly played its part this week. It's got hot, which is quite nice to have a bit of warmth, to be fair, but it's weeds have grown like mad. Been doing a lot of weeding, getting the allotment back into shape. Got tomatoes back in the ground. Got sweet corn planted. I got beans planted. What else have we done? Oh yeah, quite a major thing. I brought myself a new lawnmower. We chatted last week about battery powered lawnmowers. Got myself one, and it's mixed opinions at the moment. I don't regret buying it, I'll be honest, but not quite as good as I hoped it would be. You'll hear about that on Monday's podcast. So let me know what you've been up to in your own allotment and garden in the comments. Now, talking of the comments, we've got Adrian has joined. Hello to you. Philly SPB, hello to you. Richard Vobes, hello to you. Richard Vobes is saying, hope you got back okay. Yep, absolutely fine. Oracle has joined. Hello to you. Adrian has joined and saying hello to, I've said Adrian already, haven't I? Sorry. Amanda Joy, hello to you. Hope you are well. You looked rather hot down on the allotment earlier today. I saw on your, was it yesterday on Instagram? Ian Beddoes, hello everyone. Don't start saying how hot it's been, as Manchester didn't warm up until 4. Well, that's because you're in the wrong part of the country then. You need to move further down south where it's warm all the time. Turbo Stream evening, all from a sunny and dry Birmingham. Good evening to you. Jen's Allotment Adventures, hello to you. Hope you are well. Nigel Sadler has joined us saying hello, veg growers. Hello to you. Stuart Jackson, evening both. Hope you are well and enjoying the sunshine. We've enjoyed the sunshine. We've definitely enjoyed it. Beatrice has joined. Hello to you. Muddy Boots. Hello, all you gardeners. Anyone suffering with sunburn? Not quite sunburnt, but certainly feeling it. Certainly feeling it. What else have we got? I've skipped a load. There we are. Oh, there's lots and lots of comments to get through. We could use some rain low after all that spring rain too. You know, be careful what you wish for is all I'm going to say. It's nice to get a bit of warmth. Nice to feel warm as well. And what I've particularly noticed, I was chatting to somebody earlier today, and we've noticed the last 2 weeks, the weeds have really grown quite a lot, which tells you a lot that the growing conditions are getting better for the plants. Richard Vogue says hello to Amanda. Hello, Amanda.
Hello.
Turbo Stream. Not much gardening this week. I had a couple of nights away in my camper van. Lucky you. Dad's joined. Good evening to you. Enjoying the heat. I'm glad I'm not working today is all I can say. It's so warm. Stuart Jackson, not done much today. Too hot, but my tomatoes are not in. I've got some pictures coming up a bit later. Ian Beddoes, Richard, you need to buy some Factor 50 sun cream. We've got Factor 50, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not
out. Richard Golden has joined. Hello, you two. Hello to you. My hollyhocks have gone wild. I think that means wild. We'll come back to the comments. Although there's even more. Yeah, a lot of talk about the hot weather, isn't there? A lot of talk about the hot weather. And it's, as somebody in the Facebook group, unfortunately, if you're in the Facebook group, I can't necessarily see who you are, just Facebook rules. But apparently I'm looking very flush. I think it's the light in here, you know.
Yeah, because you look more brown to me like you normally go.
Yeah, I have a tendency to go brown.
But on there, you look really
But
bad.
I can see in the camera I do look a bit red. But I think it's the lighting.
Yeah, you definitely look brown.
Yeah. I'm just looking on the other camera monitor. So yeah. So it's been nice and hot. Now, what we want to talk and why I brought Amanda along here is the first subject tonight. I've got. Well, the second subject coming up a bit later, I'll mention that, is about club routes. So we'll get into that a bit later on. But the first subject that I want to talk about is you're an urban explorer.
I am now, yeah.
So what is an urban explorer?
It's where we go out and explore abandoned buildings, ruins. It can be industrial, houses, wherever.
So you go exploring abandoned things.
Yeah.
But you came across abandoned nursery, and
Yes,
we've got a few photos because she came back, showed me these photos, and this is only a few of what we've seen. I was so angry. So firstly, this is inside one of the large greenhouses. Now,
So gorgeous.
we don't know how long this has been abandoned for. We believe about 20 years, but we could be wrong. And I'm looking at that and I'm seeing all the panes of glass are looking in pretty good condition, considering. But also the tables, they're still pretty good. Loads and loads of plastic pots that have just been wasted. Just thrown away, forgotten about, abandoned. We move on to the next one. And another greenhouse, a smaller greenhouse, but what's wrong with that greenhouse? What is wrong with that?
It's not being used.
It's not being used. It might be missing a few panes of glass, of course, but it looks in absolutely good order. And I can vouch for you, there will be lots of people out there possibly watching tonight thinking, I would love that in my garden or even on my allotment.
Yeah, but it can't do it. We have rules for
Can't do it. And then there's another greenhouse. It's a bit larger, this one, and probably more of a commercial one, but same sort of thing. People would love that in their garden. It is of, a lot of the glass is missing on that one, but the worktops are still there. It looks like it's still in a good order. And then finally, this is the one that really annoyed me.
Yes, I wish I hadn't shown you this one.
Really annoyed me. What is wrong with that fork? It is in absolutely perfect condition. That is a type of fork that you could sail down a car boot for 20 quid sort of thing.
But we're only allowed to take photos and you only do footprints.
Yeah. But, so, no, wrong one. Sorry, hang on. Buttons, that one, I can't see. There we go. That's what I was after. That fork. Last year we went through this thing where people were struggling to feed themselves due to COVID, or were worried about feeding themselves. People were wanting to garden, and there is a small society of people who could not afford to buy something like a garden fork, and that one is just sitting there going to waste.
Well, that's the trouble with doing this abandoned exploring is that there is so much waste out there. We want to be able to build houses in places, but we seem to be building it on the wrong places where you've got land like that is just being wasted.
Yeah.
And all the items that I see on various Instagrams and YouTube that could all be being repurposed. It just shows we're still really wasteful.
It is. It really did wind me up.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Richard Rose is saying we occasionally see greenhouses where the plants have outgrown the greenhouses and gone through the roof. Yeah, we see that from time to time. There's a lot of abandoned nurseries that I know of around our area. I can think of, and further afield. I can think of 3 within a 20-minute to an hour drive of us. Nigel. Who owns the land where the abandoned garden centre is? We don't know that, but
I've looked into it because we wanted to buy it.
Yeah, we seriously looked into it because we were thinking of buying it. But it was they're trying to get planning permission to knock all that down and build 4 4-bedroom houses. There's already a 4-bedroom bungalow on that site, as well as the greenhouses and what looks like a shop that may have burned down. But it's actually opposite another garden centre. I shouldn't say that because that kind of starts to give it away. Well, maybe not.
Let's just keep it vague.
Yeah, got to keep it vague. Ian Beddoes is asking, Amanda should come up to us. We have lots of World War II defence. Oh, yeah, she loves that stuff.
Oh, World War II is my favourite.
And Richard Vobes, Amanda, why do you suppose these places have been abandoned?
I think the person who owned it died from this one, from what I can gather. And I know of another building that's in several counties away, and the 2 children are fighting over what to do with it because one wants to keep it and one wants to sell it. And in the meantime, it's being trashed. And it was beautiful. And I think that's part of the issue. Or people can't afford it, or people have gone bankrupt.
Yeah. So Adrian is saying it looks a bit like his greenhouse.
Oh, then it's beautiful. I love it.
I mean, that the smaller greenhouse on those pictures does look, I thought, a bit like my granddad's greenhouse that I've inherited. And when I lost all that glass in the storm a couple of years ago, it cost me over £100 to replace all the glass panels. And yet there's the glass panels just sitting there doing nothing.
We can't take anything.
I know. I would not condone taking anything because it's not our property anyway.
It's not part of the rules of urbexing. We have rules.
If the garden centre went bust, then it's the administrator's responsibility to sell the assets. We don't know what's going on. I just feel it's so wasteful.
But there's another garden centre near us that looks in the same state from the outside.
Yeah.
If you walk past a footpath, you can just see in.
Presumably it belongs to someone. Yes,
Must do.
It must do. It definitely does belong to someone. So I agree it's a waste of resources that could have been sold off, though. Yeah, because what we expect is going to happen when they get planning to permission, all that is just going to be bulldozed and thrown into a skip. Stuart Jackson saying, it beggars belief. What a waste. I could use the plants to sell off for charity. We don't think there was any real plants actually still in here.
I don't know in the bit that I fell in. I think there might have been.
Yeah. But all those plastic pots that you didn't really get to see how many there were. There were hundreds of plastic pots.
And all the labels as well.
And all the labels, and we all know how bad plastic is at the moment. So if I don't read your comment out, please don't take any offence. It's just there's a lot to get through. Stuart Jackson, if I wish I lived closer, I would go to Hearts and reopen. Yeah, I mean, this is it. I would love if I could afford it. The trouble is, I suspect to the price of the land, because it is a large amount of land, it would just make it unaffordable unless I win the lottery or something. But it would be a dream.
Lovely.
It would be a dream to buy that, do it up, and bring it back into a garden nursery and make it into what it was meant to be. The
fact that I actually came home and said, I found the place, I want to move to.
Yeah. Ian Beddoes. Okay then, Amanda, we'll take you to eat. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is so on. So excited.
Adrian says he thinks he might have seen this on YouTube. Don't know if it's been on YouTube.
Probably would have done.
Okay. Sean is saying it would make a nice project for Richard Vobes. So I think it'd make a nice project for anyone. Nigel is saying to Adrian, your greenhouse has good ventilation. Yeah. Adrian, that's the greenhouse you have not seen in my house, an urbex's dream. There you go. Beatrice, you mentioned you are not allowed to take anything but pictures. How do you know if you are allowed to enter? Technically,
that's a woolly subject.
Yes. Yeah. This is why I don't do it. It's her thing. But technically, you're not actually breaking the law unless you damage a fence to get entry. If there's
And I didn't do that. I don't do any of that.
yeah, if a gate is open, if you're asked to leave and you don't leave, then it's a very grey area. But technically, it's the same. If somebody came into our front garden, we've got no gate in the way, so somebody can actually technically come in, and there's nothing the police can do about it. Just like when people park their cars on other people's driveways, nothing. It's a civil matter. The police can't do anything about it. But if they were to come into our back garden, that would involve breaking down or climbing over our fence.
And then that's aggravated trespass.
Aggravated trespass. It sounds like it might be stuck in probate house. It's not probate.
I don't think so.
It's planning permission. They want to knock it down and build houses, which I don't know how I feel about that. But it is just so scary. It's a few acres then. It probably prime building land, classic brownfield. They want cleared for housing. Yeah, it is brown land. It's pretty rural where it is.
It's just taken a really long time.
Yeah, well, you say you found some paperwork that was 1997.
Yeah.
So we think it's been empty 20 years, although
but that's not unheard of. There's a lot of places like that.
Yeah. Ian Beddoes has gone on to say worth a lot more with planning permission. Yeah, this is it. It is worth so much more with planning permission. It is just, and it's just such a it's a waste not only of the greenhouses and the property. Let's go back to these pictures again, because I want to sort of.
And in some sense, this is why, as an urbex, we go and take photos, because so much gets demolished and so much is beauty, I suppose, in the eye of the beholder. But there's like care homes that have, mouldings and history and a story, all that history just gets demolished, and then no one knows.
Well, what gets me in this photo here, we're inside quite a large greenhouse. That's huge. I've heard in Worthing there's actually a company or somebody renting out bits of land inside one of their greenhouses. So somebody, let's say, wants to grow tomatoes inside a greenhouse, can go and rent a small area. Well, that is ideal for that. It might be missing a few panes of glass here and there. We think there might be asbestos on another part of the site as well. But, that's set up for that. It just needs a good clean out, trim everything down, and you can rent small parcels out for people to grow their own food undercover, who perhaps can't have a greenhouse on their own allotment, or in their garden. The list just goes on. Now this one, I just think, that looks to me to be about 6 foot wide and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times 2 is 12 foot long. I reckon that's 12 foot long by 6 foot wide. Yeah.
And that's probably going to end up in a skip.
And that, it looks all there. And that door to me suggests it's not a cheap greenhouse.
No, it looks like it's slid.
Yeah.
I didn't investigate that so much.
Yeah. And again, another one, okay, that one does need a lot of glass. But had they caught it when it closed down, probably wouldn't need so much glass.
Yeah, but the trouble is people also smash it as well.
Yeah. And then that fork, which, that is just useful. That is.
But there's also a spade somewhere as well.
And there was a spade.
Yeah, but I nearly fell over that.
Yeah. That's, last year there's so many people out there who were garden centres were closed. They wanted to get gardening, and this stuff is just lying there.
But we're not the only country that has this issue. It's like global.
No. So let's have a quick look go back to the comments. So Beatrice says, thank you. I don't think I would be brave enough to enter. I'm not brave enough to enter either. Ian Beddoes says it's worth a lot more with planning permission. Yeah. Oracle is saying problem is there's money in building housing more than as a business. We need housing, I know that, but we also, tell us getting warm and
Need to be
sweating in
less
here.
wasteful.
We need to be less wasteful. Let's have a quick look. Turbo Stream. I live near to the old Austin car factory in Longbridge. That was an Urbex. Okay. They're all finding them for you.
That's fine.
Could you ask any local residents to see if they have any background info? We could do that, I suppose. Try and find out a bit more. I don't want to bring too much attention to it, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll bring this back. I know down the road from me, and you haven't been to this one, and it's right on the main road. There are some empty greenhouses. And again, same as that, I can tell they're empty because they're full up of brambles and stuff, and they're right next to some allotments. And I
know the one you mean.
Yeah, I just think it's scattered all over the place, these sort of things. Stuart Jackson, we have an old plant nursery for sale near me. I just need some money. Yeah, don't we all? Don't we all? Ian Meadows saying we could rent it out as a cannabis farm. No, we're not going to do that. I suspect there will be new builds there soon. Well, from what I read, they can't actually get planning permission, so we don't know. But they sit on it for long enough, it's going to happen.
In the meantime, people just keep exploring it.
Yeah. Sean Allotment Garden. There was an abandoned allotment and greenhouse site close to me, and a group of locals. I'm doing that wrong. A group of locals got the National Allotment Society to buy it and then rent it out for £500 a year on a 99-year lease. There you go. I've just realised I haven't asked if anybody wants to zap themselves in. I've got too much stuff in the way of the screens these days.
Yeah, no, I don't know where I'm meant to be looking.
So if you want to zap yourself in, I'll put the link in the comments right now. If you're in the Facebook group, you won't see it. Or alternatively, let's pull that one up. If you want to call in, the number is going across the bottom of the screen. It's 07307 135 174. So please do zap yourself in and add to the conversation. Richard Golding, I got 2 greenhouses going for free if anyone is in my area. Shoreham/Stenning. There you go. This is exactly how it should be. You have something spare, you offer it around to people who might need it and are prepared to use it. I'd sooner. I mean, you think I'm horrible for being a hoarder in some ways.
Well, I don't mind you hoarding, but could you just like have it in one place?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is, to be fair, hoarding is actually probably the counter argument, because you end up sitting with this stuff thinking it's going to be useful one day.
I don't think it's bizarre that I actually go to places where people actually hoard stuff, but yet you do it at home. How weird.
Yeah, yeah. Could you speak a little louder?
Sorry.
So, Stuart Jackson, we need to bring back using nurseries and staff.
Do you want me to read it?
You read it.
We need to get back to using nurseries, as the staff nearly always have the knowledge which you will never get in the garden centres that sell handbags. No, they're probably knowledgeable on handbags.
They probably are knowledgeable on handbags. And you are right. I mean, nurseries tend to be more plants people who know how to grow plants, how to look after plants, and they are more than happy to chat and share that knowledge. And the trouble is, the garden centres, I think, have made nurseries. I think garden centres made, when they came along, was it the 80s? Garden centres started popping up, maybe the 70s. They were sexy. They were a bit more like a shop as opposed to a nursery, which is a bit rough around the edges, shall we say. But nurseries have so much more knowledge. A garden centre, I mean, everyone knows, I've been quite public that I feel that garden centres are not a waste of space, but they're becoming department stores. And, you know, I get my high horse about that, so we won't go into that just yet. But you are right. Nurseries are plants people. Ernie, hello, how are you doing? Hi, Richard. Hope you are both well and this lovely weather. All top here. Should I not water the lawn? I've never watered my lawn. It's just grass. It'll bounce back when you get some rain, and it just, if you water it, you have to mow it more. So yeah. Turbo Streamer saying, as we discussed last week, garden centres are a shopping destination now. Well, they've always been a destination to go shopping. The idea being that you would go and spend a day walking around a garden centre, bit like IKEA, but IKEA, I feel, has got it a bit better than a garden centre. The plants are in there as an afterthought. There you go. It's so true that a nursery might not be viable now. See, we're all saying it. We're all seeing it and saying it. How many of us actually go to a nursery to buy our plants?
Well, to be honest, as I'm not a gardener, I never really step in them because they put me off, if I'm honest.
Yeah, okay. So Ernie is saying, I'm thinking of watering the grass to let the moss die completely. What to do? Well, the thing is, if your moss thrives in wet conditions, so you probably best off not watering it. Get a rake out and try and remove as much of the moss as possible, and try and get rid of and get some lawn sand, I think they call it. We'll put that out there to everybody else, how to get rid of moss in the lawn.
Can I just read one comment? I think Adrian keeps saying, have I seen the Urbex community on YouTube? Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I know a lot about that, and also I follow a lot of people on Instagram, but thank you.
Yeah. So Ian Beddoes, saw a message from Michelle on our local garden centre selling off ornaments. Glad as I like the garden centre that knows about plants. Yeah. Nigel was saying he needs to move my lawn when it gets a bit cooler. I think, is that move or mow?
I like the idea of moving this lawn.
Yeah.
I think everyone's too hot, rulers in the world.
It's so hot in here tonight.
Oh, I thought it was nice.
You would. Sean, went to my first car boot sale last week and got some good prices on plants and hanging baskets. Yeah, I went to our local one last week and today actually, but I was a bit disappointed with the plants and the stuff they had. I mean, hanging baskets with tomatoes in, they were trying to sell for £10, which I bit
for tomatoes.
Tomato plant in a hanging basket. Yeah, but hey, if it's trying to make some money, then good luck to him. So Oracle is asking, does Amanda have a platform for the pictures, etc.?
I have an Instagram account, which is Exploring with Sug.
Yeah, Exploring with Sug, all one word, and Sug is Sugge. She's much better at Instagram than what I am.
I don't have a YouTube. Yeah. I'm not quite into that yet.
Yeah. So Money Boots is use a Springbok lawn rake to help get rid of the moss. So yeah, one of those sort of fine wires that really scratch at the surface to get rid of the moss. And Allotment Life is saying moss won't grow well in a well aerated lawn.
I did not know that.
There you go. Ernie is saying, is it true that to kill?
What?
Is it true that to kill? I think we might have missed something there. Digwell has joined. Hi all. Hello to you. Late to the show. And Nigel, we were right. Nigel was saying mow, not move.
I prefer move. I think you should move.
Move. Yeah, I've been. I've got to admit, I got this battery lawnmower the other day. My two batteries I had, they didn't last. One of them lasted about 2 minutes, and the other lasted about 4 minutes. To be fair, my grass had got a bit long as well. But I ordered myself one of the bigger batteries, which arrived yesterday, and it does a great job actually. But the reason I'm saying about this being hot, because it's a battery, it's so light and so easy to use that it's not a chore to use.
Good.
Stop me. Jesus.
No, I'm just thinking it means we'll get the lawn mowed.
Get the lawn mowed more. Yeah. Toby Stream, at our local nurseries were brought out by Wyval some years ago, sadly. And now I think Wyval are pretty much no longer in existence.
Are they not? Oh. I
Yeah.
used to like that nursery that is now where Asda is. That was always a good one.
Oh, the
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was. I can't think what it's called, but it was a giant. It was almost like a Poundland, to be
It
honest.
was weird, but it had really good plants, but also really good garden stuff as well.
Yeah, I remember
But
the one.
dirt cheap and amazing Christmas decorations.
Dirt cheap. Yeah, we don't do Christmas decorations. Yeah, Wyval seem to have the fatal kiss to any nurseries they purchased. Wyval, I said this a while back. Wyvals were shit. Well, no, I'm not allowed to say. Wyvals were crap. Sorry.
Wyvals were not very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm
Child friendly.
child friendly. Yeah. Sorry to everyone. I shouldn't say that. No, Wyvals. I mean, we had one in the village I grew up in. It was before that. It was local nursery or locally run, and it just went awful to the point that the products that were sat on the shelf in cardboard boxes had started to fade because they've been sat on the shelf for so long and nobody was bothered by it.
Is that the one with the train?
That's the one with the train. Yeah, the mini train go round.
That was the only good thing about that nursery.
Yeah.
Oh, and the play thing for the kids.
Now it's been brought back into a local company. It's coming back. It's actually really good. I was saying Wyvals and Dobbies. Yeah, we went to a Dobbies, didn't we?
Oh God, that was hideous.
Yeah, you didn't like that one.
I don't understand why there was a supermarket in it.
Yeah, it was a Sainsbury's inside Dobbies. Couldn't wait figure that out. Turbo Stream is saying Wyval is a swear word, all right. Yeah, so I do apologise for that. I really do. You can let Amanda mow the lawn while you are working. There you go. It's ain't going to go down well.
Do you want to? How about I mow the lawn, you Hoover?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Mm.
Yeah. Stuart Jackson, Wyval Garden Centre is slowly going under. Let's hope they hurry up. I thought they had gone under, to be honest, because they've sold off a lot of their nurseries and their garden centres. And I can't think where our nearest Wyval is anymore. Digwell used to work for Wyval before it became Wyval, a real nursery, not a garden centre. Yeah. Sainsbury's in our local Dobbies also. So this is interesting because Dobbies used to be owned by the same company as Tesco's. And then they sold Dobbies on 4 years ago, I suppose, 3-4 years ago. And now Sainsbury's have gone in there. How insulted is that? How insulted is that? Right. So on that note, do you want to have a look at some photos that have came into our various ways that we receive photos?
Wow, that was loud.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody, I jumped.
Which one is it? Yes, good.
I want to see someone else's photos.
So, firstly, this is Stephen Ticehurst, and he's been up on his allotment on a very warm evening, planting out tomatoes and doing a lot of watering and weeding. He's got a very, very small plot there. I've been there a couple of times, and literally that is his plot. It looks like it's full of potatoes, so quite a lot going on.
Small to me, but
it's in these photos. It's quite deceiving, but he's literally stood on the end of his plot. I think at this photo.
But he's made the best of the space.
Made the best of the situation. Yeah. Stuart Jackson has got tomatoes in pots here.
Good.
And again here, doing well. And this is his. I think it's his border in his garden.
Nice. Are those hollyhocks? Or I don't know about flowers either.
He's watching, so he can let us know.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not great at this.
Now, this is for me in Meadows. I've got to let one of his little jokes in every week because he posts these quite often. Always makes me chuckle. And it's so true. I've said that every year. I will stay on top of the weeds, and 2 days later, the weeds are back.
Brilliant.
Which one's this? Philly, who's watching SBB, who's watching tonight, very kindly sent in some photos of his plot. Gotta say, it looks very clean and tidy down there. It looks like sweet corn and beans growing in that bed there. Then it looks like his potatoes in this one as well. Looks awesome, doesn't it?
Yeah. So tidy.
It is so tidy. And onions, by the looks of it as well. Very, very tidy.
They don't look real. I think it's because of the neatness of there's no weeds in it. That's amazing.
Yeah, it works very, very hard on that.
Clearly.
Now, this next photo, I am so proud of. This came in from Isabel, who's probably not watching. I don't know if she is. Isabel is one of my supporting members, and everything in that bed is from the seeds I've sent out from the supporters club. Yeah.
Wow.
It's fantastic, isn't it? I am so proud. And that's not all the seeds I've sent out either. That's only a small portion.
I do assist sometimes.
You do,
Yes.
quite often. But that is, I'm so proud to see that.
I love the fact she's dug her lawn up. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's amazing what people go to.
Yeah, she might need a bigger bed, less lawn.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I say that Sainsbury's is in our lake from Nigel? Sean James came, great show. Need to go back to work. We're launching the new news. So, okay, sorry. Dobbies now have an ex-Wyveld chief. Oh, so the ex-Wyveld chief as executive has gone to Dobbies. That explains a lot.
Yeah,
that does explain a lot. Adrian, many years ago, I knew a nursery that sold a few plants. The old boy was a font of knowledge and was very generous to the school my mother was a teacher at. He now departed this world.
I think that's what happened at the nursery.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame. My great-grandparents used to own a nursery in a little West Sussex village, West Cheltenham, where you grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know about this until my granddad passed away. And I would love, I mean, this was going back before cameras were certainly before cameras were around, because it was long before I was born. I never knew my great-grandparents. I would love to have seen what that nursery looked like back in those days. Yeah. So it was lupins and hellebores in that photo from Stuart Jackson.
They look pretty.
They look very pretty. Ernie, hi Richard. At last I can write without trouble. I'm thinking of not watering the grass so the moss will die completely. What do you think? You've got nothing to lose. Like I said, grass will bounce back. But generally speaking, if you've got moss in the in your grass, it's either because it's too moist in there, and moss just comes off the rooftops quite often. Birds tend to flick it down. So you want to try and get rid of the moss. It's a lot of work. Or a scarifier, something you can hire. Get rid of the moss. Treat it with something. I don't like weed killers or moss killers. Lawn sand is something I can vouch for, and try and aerate the soil as well. But that's all really done during autumn, winter time. This time of year, I wouldn't water lawn anyway. It's a waste of water, in my opinion. I think everyone else can throw in their 2 pence worth on that as well. Now, Philly, who we were impressed with how tidy his allotment there, says thank you. Took time, but got there. Well, it's worth it. I mean, definitely just goes to show you put the time in, you get a beautiful looking allotment or beautiful looking garden.
Sorry, I don't put time in ours.
You don't put time in. I try and put as much time as I can, but it's difficult.
Unless I'm hacking something, I don't.
Yeah, it's difficult to fit this all in. I think we've got through all the comments now. Thank God. No, I don't mean that. Sorry.
You're struggling today.
I'm struggling. No, well, it's not. I'm struggling.
It's a bit warm.
It's warm. It's warm in here, and it's
pleasant.
It's you find it pleasant. So a question that's came in for tonight's show that isn't something I've had much experience with, and it's how do you stop club root? And this actually came in from Billy, who we've mentioned on those photos. And he says he has trouble when his allotment club root comes in all the time. He treats it with lime, but still seems to get it. Where I live, we actually have quite alkaline soil naturally, and I've never suffered with club root, so I've never had the problem. So I thought I'd throw this out there and see what anybody else out there does to try and stop this problem. For those that don't know, because I know there's some people watching out there, club root is a particularly nasty a problem that attacks the roots of brassicas, and it can stay in the soil for something like 20 years. So you have to not grow brassicas in that ground where you've got club root for 20 years. I know you don't know this, but it's not something I've ever had that problem with because, well, I think it's because we're so alkaline here.
That's a long time.
It is a long time. It is a very long time. That's why it's so nasty. Don't forget, you can call in 07307 135 174, or you can zap yourself in the comments in the link in the comments that I've just put up. So Turbo Stream, I was under the impression that club root can't be cured. I don't believe it can be cured. I believe what you've got to do is try and prevent it from coming in, which is why you add a lot of lime to your beds anyway. Brassicas like that more alkaline soil anyway, but lime helps with that. But all you can do is try and starve it, which is why you can't grow in that soil for 20 years. And Digwell, who I know is very knowledgeable on these things, Kiss of Death, never had that problem with club root. Yeah, you're probably right. I have probably made that Kiss of Death. The only good thing, we've got somebody coming into the comments. So, is he ready? Is he ready? I'll give him a minute because sometimes he's a bit slow. I can see he's coming there. He's ready. Ready? Hello, Stuart.
I'm ready. Good evening, both.
You're ready. You're ready.
Yes,
Hello.
I am a bit slow. Hello, Amanda.
Yeah. There's always a bit of delay. So, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's just too hot for me. I should say that, but it is.
Yeah, it is a bit on the warm side for us. I had a conversation with somebody earlier today who said they've been going down the allotment before 9 o'clock in the morning and then again in the evening just to avoid the heatness of the day.
Yeah, I'm going to go back out after your show tonight when the sun's gone down a bit.
Yeah, same here. So you're not called in to talk about the heat, have you?
No, I haven't. I just called in to let everybody know that I've hit the grand.
You've hit the... So let's just explain to everyone. You sell plants out the front of your house for brain tumour charity. And you've hit £1,000 for these plant sales.
Yay!
Fantastic.
On April the 3rd.
Fantastic. Sorry?
So I know every now and again you get people asking. So I thought, well, I'd ring in tonight and let you know.
Yeah, I did actually make a note of that in my notes and I forgot to read it out.
That's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah, but it gives you a chance to come on and tell us.
Gone. Yeah, it's been a sort of balmy couple of months really, but we got there. So I've moved the target up a bit. So I think that's if my maths are correct, that's 15,000.
What, since you've been doing this?
Yeah. So that's what,
wow.
6. Yeah, it's about 6 years. So, but when you think it only goes out, until last year, it was like 6 little sales a year. But last year the table went out in March and stayed out till probably October. But I've got more plants than I know what to do with.
Yeah. Don't we all? Don't we all have that trouble?
Yeah. If you want purple sprouting, I got loads of them.
Was that one of the supporter club seeds? It was, wasn't it?
No, well, that wasn't. No, these I picked them up from my uncle in the week. But yeah, I have got your supporter club's purple sprouting will be in my garden. So I'm not selling them. I'm selling the ones I was given. Yeah, it's been great. And the people are asking for veg, so it's brilliant.
Yeah, well, Amanda Joy is saying amazing, well done on the £1,000.
Oh,
Ian Beddoes is also saying, well done, Stuart, great work. You deserve a beer. So Ian's buying you a beer.
Well, I might have
that.
one later. Yeah, wow, you can always send one down from Manchester. They don't need cool drinks in Manchester because they don't get any sun.
Yeah, fantastic. Well done. That is great news. Have you ever had trouble with club root then?
I haven't, but I remember my dad talking about it. And he used to use something called Derris dust. Some of the older gentlemen might have heard about it, but it was banned because it was a chemical.
Oh.
Right. So that's not an option.
I don't know how to get rid of it. No, I don't know how you would get rid of it once you've got it. But isn't it a fungus in the ground? So where you've not rotated your crops properly? Would that be it?
I think it can be introduced. So if you buy brassicas from a nursery or a garden centre, it may have club root in that by cross-contamination. You plant that could be what it may not be necessarily down to crop rotation, but crop rotation is probably a good way to try and stop it from getting in your soil and trying to stop it building up as well.
Yeah, I've not. Because my garden, as you know, is not very big, my veg garden. So I'm not going to get it. I wouldn't think I would get it because I haven't got enough. And I don't import stuff if I can help it. The only seeds I plant in my garden is what comes from the supporters club.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I would say.
Vegetable-wise, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I try and grow everything from seed. Always have done now. As the way of trying to stop that. But that being said, I suppose it could come in on some compost or something as well. It's scary when you start doing it like that.
Yeah, we had a big discussion this week because my brother was down, and my brother was saying about he's gone organic and peat-free, and he's finding plastic and bits of stuff that shouldn't be in the compost as well. I don't know. Put that out there, see if anybody else has had that experience.
Oh, I know
that was the thing.
Have had that experience.
So if you get plastic in there, what else is in there?
Yeah, yeah.
They're putting organic. Yeah, it's crazy to me. If they want us to buy and be organic and be peat free, they've got to make it better so that we all go with it. Because if you were to buy a couple, like I do, I buy 6 or 7 bags at a time, and 5 of them got stuff in them, it's going to make you think next time you go shopping for more compost.
Yeah, definitely.
So
definitely.
I will put on social media the company that the last few bags I've had, because I bought 6 bags and 5 of them are plastic in.
Yeah, I just heard Amanda go. I was like, it's shocking. It is. I know. I think it was Digwell Green Fingers who said he's had really bad stuff in his peat-free compost as well.
Well, perhaps.
I've been experimenting with peat-free compost and trying to add stuff into it because although peat-free is good, it doesn't have quite the same water retention I find. Because you've got water
very dry.
Very dry. But I'm trying with biochar, brick dust, and perlite to see if any of those work any better.
Yeah, I tend to mix. If I'm just potting on, I'll mix from the compost bin and from the bag so that I'm not using so much, because obviously selling plants, my biggest expense is compost. So if I can keep that down a bit, but this year I haven't taken any money out of the pot at all. But it just bugs me that the government have changed the rules, so we're having to go peat free, but the quality's not there yet. I'm going to say yet, because I'm sure that it will get better.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they will, by actually having it in law, the peat free compost will then suddenly have to up their game, because they're then going to be competing, because it's all we're going to be able to buy, and the one that's best is going to come out on top.
Well, the best one I found is Koya compost.
Yeah,
but it's very very dry.
Yes, and also Koya is imported from the Caribbean, so I worry about the mileage on that in some ways.
The air mileage there.
So it was right. Digwell, I'm sure it was. Most of my non-peat compost has crap in it: glass, shredded plant pots, carrier bags, bits, logs, etc., etc.
How is that even?
I think we're all up to...
It just goes through a machine.
Exactly, Amanda.
I'm gobsmacked.
I think we should start a social media campaign.
Well, Muddy Boots is saying Bathgate Champions Blend peat free is the best by far I have used, but very difficult to get any stock at the moment. And Koya also has very low nutrients in it, which is true. It's more about trying to act as a sponge in that soil, in the compost.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, now I've stirred a hornet's nest up.
Yeah. There's nothing new there. Lovely to see you, Stuart.
Yeah. Well, you two take care and don't get sunburnt.
Too late.
Yeah.
Take care, buddy.
Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. See you soon. Bye. Bye. Get him out there. So we can come back to the club route now. You're shocked at that, aren't you? Oh, let's get rid of that.
Well, it's a bit.
Wrong one.
It's a bit like saying you're organic.
That's it.
It's a bit like saying you're organic, and then actually no, I'm not. I've just been lying to people.
Yeah.
How can you have peat-free soil, but actually we've bulked it up with loads of stuff?
Well, yeah. I'll get to that in a minute. So allotment life. If you have club root, you're stuck with it for over 20 years. Crop rotation is necessary, and use plenty of lime, which is pretty much what I've said as well. Adrian, don't you dip roots into a powder? I've not used any powder that I'm aware of. Nigel is saying, look for a product called Perlka, Perlka. A lot of professional growers use it. So that might be something to look for, Philly. Perlka. I've not used it myself, but I trust Nigel. If it works for him, it'll work for most people. And Digwell's also used it. It's a great product, but he's not used it for club root. Fisherman, wrap rhubarb leaves around the roots before planting helps. Did not know that. There you go. That might make sense, actually, because rhubarb has a slightly alkaline, almost lime in the soil to it anyway. So that does make a lot of sense. Idaho Garden Girl has joined. Hello. Hello. Good. Muddy Boots, if you have no objection, try to sterilize the soil with Jay's fluid drench. That's if you want to do it. I've never done that myself, but again, if Nigel says it works.
That stuff does everything.
Yeah, I know, we use it all the time on a lot of stuff. Beatrice has been to the plot at 6 the last few mornings, which is why we are never up at that time. I keep saying I want to, and And Nigel's been 5:30 in the morning. Jesus Christ, that's far too early for
Right,
my
well, you're
liking.
up at 5 then.
Oh,
Let's have a competition.
yeah, but to be fair, his plot is only the other side of his fence. It's nice and easy for him.
Yeah, but normally the closer you are to something, the longer it takes for you to get there.
True. Nigel Sadler is saying, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification or something so you get notified when I go live. I've got to say that, otherwise I get told off by YouTube and Facebook now for not saying it.
And follow me.
And Exploring with Sug on Instagram. Amalotox was the most effective product I have seen, but that was banned a few years ago. Some of the best products have been banned. It's such a shame. Well, it's not such a shame because I think they were banned for good reason.
Like asbestos.
Like asbestos. Municipal waste can be the worst offender for containing plastic and other rubbish. Totally agree. What else have we got? Is there a way to sterilize homegrown compost? Yeah, there is. You can stick it in the microwave is a way I've heard people just sterilize it. Or you can pour boiling hot water over it. None of these I've done because I worry about losing the nutrients, but I personally don't worry about sterilizing my homegrown compost.
I have never thought that you'd need to do that. What a fascinating question.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of people microwaving compost. I would be kicked out if I did that.
You don't like using the microwave
like-
generally.
That's true. I don't like using a microwave.
Once it's died, we won't get another one.
No, I prefer to actually cook stuff, and yeah.
I use it for warming my tea.
Yeah, I know you do. To cap it all imported plants will need to be peat-free compost too.
That doesn't happen. Sorry.
God knows. It's scary, isn't it? I actually agree with that. We need to use peat-free compost, and I personally have gone peat-free myself. But I do agree the quality is not quite there. I found, I think I've got rid of it now, found a lump of brick, as big as my hand in one of my bags of compost. And it's measured by, or it's sold by weight or litres, isn't it? So that's part of that I've paid for that I'm not getting. Wooden bricks, that's common in compost. You're right.
I'm now thinking that when you go buy it, it's like, could you open all the bags first, weigh it, then I'll buy it.
Yeah. Oh, of course. So the best compost is homemade. You know what has been rotted down to make it. I completely agree. I wish I could make enough compost to last me, but I don't. And that's we've got 4 compost bins at home, a wormery, the sub pod now, 2 large compost bins on the allotment, 4 compost funnels, and they all get full up, but it just doesn't make enough for me to use it in full. And then what I found with my compost at home, actually, and I've said about this many times, I run over everything with a lawnmower. And because that gets everything nice, chopped up nice and small, it gets very, very hot. And that kills off any weeds and probably sterilizes it as well. But it's not so, on a small scale, it's not so easy to do that. This is what many of the professional compost people tell us. You need it big compost to get it really hot enough.
So what I've learnt this evening is we need to buy that nursery and then we need to turn part of it into a professional compost making place.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's what I would actually do. Have it so almost like municipal waste, but organic only. It's going to be difficult to control, but yeah.
Clearly, because people are putting bricks and stuff.
Yeah. My stepdad used to have a machine like a cement mixer that had gas burners through it. Seem to remember him shoveling soil in that, then used it for killing off any bugs. Yeah, I've heard of people using flames on their compost. Not saying I've done again, but it's amazing what people will do. Amazing what lengths people will do to not get weeds. So Digwell, not good doing crop rotation if you have club root, unless you sterilise your tools every time you move from bed to bed. Yeah, this phone should be on silent. So professional. Yeah, I mean, this is why it's so difficult, I think, in our sort of scale. If you get club root, you know, the risk of it going in every other bed is quite high. You take that they take that hoe from one bed to the other, and there's a chance you can spread it inadvertently. Jen is going to try and pop to the allotment before work. That's about 5 a.m. I'm still asleep at that time. Adrian doesn't go to bed till 4 a.m.
He could be doing urban exploring during that time, right? It'd be brilliant.
Yeah. Digwell microwaves his compost.
Do you have a separate one for microwaving that compared to the normal one? Just curious.
Good question. Nigel is saying to me, Benno's not allowed to advertise it as a pesticide, same as a Milox wasn't. And it's the same as using milk on courgettes to stop powdery mildew. Even though we all do it, we're not allowed to say it professionally as a treatment because it's not officially a treatment, even though it works and it's organic.
I am just learning way too much.
I should explain. Amanda's not really a gardener. She's not really interested in the garden as such. Give her a pair of secateurs and she's away. She's away. Apparently you look horrified.
Yeah. There's no... what you get here is what you get.
Yeah.
I sometimes don't really know why I'm here, but I'm learning a lot.
Nigel was saying microwave's a tool of the devil. Yeah. I hate the things. Allotment life. I used it to use a paraffin glow lamp to sterilise loam, which I used to mix my own compost many years ago. Yeah, I mean, I've got that blowtorch for killing weeds, which doesn't really kill weeds.
I don't know why you bought it in the first place. I thought that was a bit of like one of those, you're going to play with fire. That's all that was about.
It was kind of that.
Yeah.
Kind of that. I mean, I could probably use my oxyacetylene set and that'd be just as good.
Well, good. Could you do it in the front garden, please?
Yeah. Turbo Stream is saying he's trying to improve his composting technique. It's hard, though, mainly weeds to compost. Yeah, I mean, compost technique is actually something we could probably talk about. I found is that by running everything over with a lawnmower, it really does chop everything up nice and small, gets really nice and hot. It speeds up the compost process. I don't tend to get any weed seeds from it when it's done that way. And it already comes down to a really nice, fine, crumbly compost at the end. The trouble is you fill up a bin and it compresses down to about a third of what was in there, which I find if you do that when you haven't chopped everything up, it doesn't compress down so much. Anyway. Stuart, we do have a local waste company that is selling bulk bags of compost, and they are saying it peat free, but looking at it, I think it's old garden waste. I still don't know what's in it. Well, this has always been my worry about using municipal compost. How do I know that the people who have put compost in there haven't added weed killer or something to it? Excuse me, sorry. And is that going to then go on and affect my beans and stuff? That's why I've never used green municipal compost. I mean, I can probably see it being useful as like a mulch in the flower beds or somewhere, but certainly not on my veg. Digwell saying, no, not a separate microwave, but the quiche does taste gritty sometimes.
Right, note self not eating around your house.
Stuart Jackson, can I put Amanda's Instagram in the notes? I'll put it in the notes after this show, so you have to come back a bit later. It'll be difficult. I'll put it in the notes for tomorrow's podcast. That's going to be easier.
If not, I do follow him.
If not, she follows me. Exploring with Sug SUGGE. Simple as that. Adrian, a flamethrower burns weeds on paraffin. Mine works on gas. Weed burners are good if you stay on the weed for just enough to turn the water into steam. Too long and they burn and regrow. Okay. There you go. I thought I used it like that with ours.
I didn't really understand.
Don't know.
It worked better when I just sat in the driveway and just pulled them out.
Yeah.
That was fun.
One day we'll get our driveway redone.
Please note that, everybody, because you don't want my driveway redone.
Yeah. I took your advice and have added cardboard and egg boxes. I can only chop my home garden weeds with a lawnmower. Yeah, I mean, that's the trouble. That's why I ended up getting a lawnmower down on the allotment in order to do that. My old petrol lawnmower, which doesn't work at the moment, again. That's why we got a battery lawnmower, but I don't think it's going to be powerful enough for the allotment. Says a lot about money grabbing local councils. Yeah, I mean, I think the municipal waste is a good thing. It's just you don't know what people put in there. Like I said, I worry about weed killers and stuff.
Yeah, but the trouble is that if the council says you can only stick A, B, and C in that, people are probably going to stick that in and D because no one will notice. And that's where probably that would be my worry. Yeah,
that's my worry too. I've got a cooking video this week. Should we put it up? This is going to be a hunger warning. So I was going to create a little alert for everyone. I just can't quite get it to work at the moment, but I've got it anyway. Which one is it? I think is it this one? No. Keep hitting the wrong button. Sorry, one of those days today. I've got to get rid of it. But I have got, let's bring up the other camera. No, I can't bring up the other camera because it's not plugged in. I have got one of those little jars here, right here. Yeah, when I said in there about wiping off the scum, I didn't do that. And as you can see, you end up with white froth on the top of a jam. But that's not a problem.
Still tastes as good.
Still tastes just as good. This is the thing I love doing because you're going to hear the pop when I open this. There you go. Love doing that. I don't know why. It's just something about making jam. I love that little pop. I
never knew that.
What? That I love the pop?
Yeah, and I think how many jars I open and I don't let you have the pop.
Yeah, I know. So, as you can see, you should be turn that right upside down. It's set really, really well. Thank God that worked. The main reason that I've said in there I use jam sugar, particularly with strawberry jam, is that strawberries are low in pectin and the jam sugar has it already added in. And for me, I found that the simplest way of making strawberry jam. If I was making raspberry jam, I'd just use ordinary granulated sugar, and that works a treat.
Make really good strawberry jam.
Yeah. On that note, Turbo Stream is actually saying if you add butter, and I have heard this as well, add butter to the boiling jam, it reduces the scum buildup. And Gordon Ramsay said that as well when I was chatting to him about it many years ago. Many years ago when I did London work.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering, like, you'd never kind of mentioned, just pop round to Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, no, I was working in his
Okay,
restaurant many years ago. Shall we give it a try? You've made some.
These are meant to be cheesy randomy scones, but they're flat because I was cooking something else at the same time, trying to be helpful, and apparently they don't rise.
Yeah. There we go. Nice big dollop of strawberry
With a cheese scone. This is
jam.
brilliant. Go on. Does that taste good?
Yeah. That strawberry jam.
Does it make the cheese scone better?
Well, cheese scones are good anyway, but
Yeah, but with jam.
with jam.
My nan always used to give me cheese and jam as a midnight feast at 8 o'clock. Love cheese and jam. Sorry. Went off on a tangent.
Stuart Johnson saying I'm a name dropper. It was only the once, but that. I mean, if you want me to drop names, I mean, Adam Frost on my podcast a couple of weeks ago. So
Did you?
Yeah, did you not know that?
No, I didn't know that.
And we've got somebody else in the comments. No, not in the comments. Sorry. Hello.
Good evening, Richard and Amanda.
Hello.
How are you doing, Ian?
I'm fine, thank you. I want to go a little bit off subject.
Go for it.
Roses.
Roses, yeah.
Yeah, I've got some that are kind of almost head height.
So 5 foot.
Cut down. I know it's the wrong time of year to do it,
Right.
but if I do it in the autumn, what's the chance of them regrowing next year?
Sorry, say that again.
I say if I cut them down in autumn, will they regrow next year?
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. I believe. I mean, I have got a rose plant, but I believe that's how you're meant to look after roses anyway. Cut them back once a year, and they regrow. I'll put that out there for everyone else as well, just to make doubly sure. But I'm certain that will regrow. I know it will regrow, I should say.
Yeah, the one in the front garden's kind of almost as tall as the willow tree.
Yeah.
It's annoying. I can't walk past it without being scratched.
Yeah, that's the trouble with roses, those horrible thorns.
Yeah,
exactly. Stuart Jackson says, take about 1/3 off your rose.
Right. Thank you, Stuart.
There you go. I knew there'd be somebody out there who knows a bit more about roses than me.
Well, I wasn't sure what you'd know, but I thought I'd ask. Somebody will know.
Yeah. I mean, I have grown roses. I mean, they have got an edible element to them. You can make rose water, but they're not, because I specialise in edibles, I don't worry too much about them. I leave them to their own thing.
Yeah, well, these were Trish's.
Yeah. Is she still in Spain or back now?
Oh, no, she's still in Spain for another 2.5 weeks, I think.
Wow. So you're not going to cut them down before she comes back then?
No. Like I say, I'll wait until autumn because I think it's too early, the flowering. I don't want to cut the flowers off or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping she'll be happy when she gets back because I put loads of marigolds into tubs in the back garden.
Very nice. And
she wanted flowers.
Yeah. So does she. She doesn't get them, though.
Nope.
Fantastic. I think Stuart's the only person who said about that so far. So if anybody else has grown any roses and wants to help Ian, then please do add your own comment in the comments.
Yes, please.
So Adrian has said, my grandfather said, if you autumn prune, then spring prune. So you
Oh,
prune in the
right.
autumn, then again in the spring.
Okay. I'll check that out.
Check that out. I've not heard that myself.
The other
Sorry?
question I've got for you is
Yeah.
we've had fuchsias in the garden for the past 30 years since I've been here.
Uh-huh.
There's no shoots coming up or anything this year.
Right.
So I'm thinking of
It's
digging
dead.
them up.
Yeah.
I want to put in some fruit trees.
Good.
We've got cherry, pear, apple, grapevines, gooseberries, raspberries, strawberries, all that sort of stuff. We were thinking of plums.
Oh, nice.
So, recommendations, what do we need to prepare the soil with?
How big an area are we looking at?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. So
No, it's about an 18-inch diameter circle where the fuchsias are at the minute.
yeah, see, some plum trees can get quite big. So you're going to probably want, a dwarfing variety in
Right.
that. And you're probably going to want a columnar type. So a columnar type is basically just one, like the main trunk coming up, and you get very little foliage coming out. But they can still be very productive. So what you're going to want...
I don't like plums, but Trish does.
Yeah. What you're going to want to do, or what it would be the best advice, is go visit your local nursery, and they'll be able to tell you. Because last time I recommended a variety of apples for up north, they went to a local nursery, told them completely something different to what I said. My first thought was something like a Victoria plum, and trained into a columnar. But they grow very, very well down here. Whether they grow well where you are is another question. But a local nursery would probably tell you more on that.
Right.
But then they charge a fortune.
We'll do a bit of research.
Yeah, do a bit of research. But I think 18 inches all the way around, that's like a 1.5 feet. That's not a lot of space for a plum tree. I mean, the ones in my granddad's garden, I mean, they're still there. They had 4 plum trees in an area probably about the size of my front garden.
Right. That sounds like it's going to be pretty large.
Yeah, it did get quite large. But there are dwarfing varieties out there.
You could have sent Amanda out to hack it down a bit.
What was that?
Could have sent you out to hack it down a bit. Right.
Not a problem.
To be fair, they were planted long before either of us were born.
Oh, right. Okay.
They were very, very old plum trees. They're still there, actually, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, there might not be if I'm hacking it.
May not be if you're hacking it. I probably should take a cutting from them as well.
Yes.
That's an idea. Oh, yeah, that might be an idea. We take a cutting from it and see if you can grow it in your front garden.
Yeah. It's a good idea. Really is.
Yeah.
Might replace the rose that I hate.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
I don't like thorns scratching me.
Turbo Stream, I prune my roses by 1/3 in the spring before they start growing, so you can prune in the spring too. So that's one option.
Yep.
In the autumn too.
Oh, right. Oh, so you can prune in the autumn too. Allotment
It's
life.
right, Andrew. It was on screen. I could see it.
Yeah. Normally autumn pruning by 1/3. If for regularly pruned roses to prevent root rot over the winter. Autumn pruned roseberries to prevent the wind catching it and rocking the roots, which can be bad for roots.
Oh,
Yeah. So I'm not reading it very well. My eyesight is bad tonight.
that wasn't what I envisioned with root rock.
Yeah. Stuart Jackson, so you can go now to Dave Austin Rose's website and they're always happy to help.
Right. Thank you, Stuart. I'll have a look.
Yeah,
Dave Austin. I'll write that down in a second.
Dave Austin. He's quite well known for that sort of thing. And Adrian, I have plums. My father said to prune a wine into a wine glass shape, a goblet shape. So like we've seen at Westdean. So he's trained the plums to sort of come up and then branches going out like that to make like a wine shape.
Oh, with you now.
You've not seen my wine glasses.
Yeah, it's more like a goblet shape in some ways.
If I can't get a full bottle in a wine glass, there's something wrong. I don't like walking back to the kitchen to get another one.
There we go. That's fantastic. I mean, yeah, you have to go to, when you're down next, go to Westdean Gardens and you'll see some fantastic ways they've shaped their pear trees, apple trees, wine trees, plum trees, etc. Fascinating how they've made them into some really ingenious different shapes.
Right.
That garden's stunning.
We have a phone
Check that
call.
out.
Yeah, there we go.
Right, you've
There
got
we
a
go.
call apparently, so I'll...
Yeah, no, I hit the button
you
by
go with it.
accident.
Oh, right, okay.
No, I hit the button by accident. That was me. Phone is actually on, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, thanks so much, Ian. Thank you for your questions.
Do you like the hair, by the way?
I didn't want to mention it because it always annoys me when people say you've had a haircut because it's so blatantly obvious. But yeah, I like it.
I've found the carpet shears in the garage, so I just got them out and...
Yeah, I've got to get a haircut.
It worked. Didn't cost me anything.
Yeah, good.
Should I throw the hair on the compost heap or?
You can actually, and it's also good for deterring slugs.
Is it? I thought the birds would just pinch it for
Well,
nesting.
They can do, and they'll go and make nests
Yeah.
from it. So, but technically, it's human waste.
Mm.
So you've got to be careful with that. She's giving me the real nasty look again.
But then you can have a brick and peat free, honestly.
Yeah, it's Captain Sensible again, as you call me.
No, I mean, like, you can't do that, but you can put a brick and peat free waste. I just don't get it.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
I think
When
Adrian is
when we
saying.
make these rules, we don't know who's thinking them out.
Adrian says he totally agrees, and I think that's to do with your wine glass having to fit a whole bottle.
No problem.
Yeah.
I've got about half left.
Oh, fantastic.
You just need a straw.
I haven't got any long enough, Amanda.
Well, I bet Amazon will do one.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably have, yeah. No worries.
yeah. So I don't drink, especially I don't drink wine, so I have no thoughts on the subject.
Oh, we came down for the show the other week. I had 3 bottles for 3 nights. That's
Why
fine.
not?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, I think is there no other advice on the roses or the plums?
Right.
So I hope we've helped.
You certainly have, because like I say, I think they're taking over the front garden, so it'd be nice to cut them back a bit.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Amanda.
See
Thank you,
later.
Ian. All the
See
best.
you later.
See you later. There we go. That was Ian Beddoes from Manchester there. Do like Ian.
In a jumper.
In a jumper. Yeah. So I'm sure Amanda could cut your hair, Richard. She probably could. We have actually got hair trimmers, but my sister's a hairdresser, so she does it for me. Only half a bottle left. Yeah, only half a bottle left of wine. Whereas I've only got my half a glass now of squash, which that's lasted me this time, isn't it? You're not in shot. That's her glass. Well, we've got about 4 minutes to go. If anybody wants to call in 073 07 135 174 just to finish the show off, or if you want to zap yourself in the comment, the link is in the comments. So, what was you were saying? People were, when we were showing that video, I think we saw people were asking about your Instagram, and you've got one follower tonight, haven't you? And one extra follower.
I think so, yeah.
So it is exploring. Is there a G in it? Yep, exploring with Sugge. Spelled
SUGGE.
SUGGE. I would put it in the notes, but I've got to get over there and try and tap it. The light's behind it. I can't see the keyboard very well, so that's why I'm. Oh, hang on. That's why I'm not doing it. Could you bring it up on your phone and we'll show it to? Oh, hang on. That's better. For those that were asking about it, it's exploring with Sugge.
Can I just come in your live and put it in?
Yeah, actually, you could do that.
Excuse me.
She's going to put it into the notes so everyone can see it. Actually, you could do that. It'll be on the YouTube only. If you're in the Facebook group, you may not see it, but head over to YouTube and you will see it. Amanda Joyce says exploring with Sugge. Yeah, that's it, but without the spaces in between.
I've just posted.
So she's just posted.
Hopefully.
And there we go.
Yes,
there it is. There it is for those that were asking about it.
And that's only on Instagram. I don't really use Facebook.
That's only on Instagram, but I think Amanda's found it. So all good, all good. Adrian, we had some plonk who took a chainsaw to the trees and 20 years later just removing 20 years later just removing son died. So,
what?
We had some plonker who took a chainsaw to the trees and 20 years later just removing, I think you mentioned this earlier. Let's see. Oh, sorry. 20 years after just recovering son died. That doesn't sound very pleasant at all.
I'm confused.
Yeah. Do you know Suggs the Jacks singer? No. It's the answer to that. What was it? I got accused of name dropping earlier, and
yes, you did.
Stuart Jackson. I didn't know my mate Adam was on your podcast. He was on my podcast for about 3 minutes, I think it was. By the time I edited it down, but it was a very, very good 3 minutes. What was that? That was episode 399.
Ooh.
Talking of which, so we got. Oh, it's 5:30, so we're going to start closing it up. So, coming up this week on the main podcast, I'm talking about my veggie pod after 2 years of using it. What I've learned, what I thought about it, why I think it's worth buying. You don't like the veggie pod. I mean, we use it, get a lot of salads from it at the moment.
And I love that.
Yeah. She comes out and get the salads and eat them straight away. That's on the podcast on Monday as well as the usual diary. Hopefully, we'll get a proper video out this week. It's if I find the time to edit them. So that's all coming up this week on our Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Prime Music, iTunes, etc. Everywhere you find all the little details and little things. Some died. 20 years later, some died, I think, is what some of those trees died.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's what he's saying.
It's better than the other way.
Well, trees aren't going to last forever anyway, dare I say it. Anyway, we need to get out of here because one, it is very, very warm in here. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining me. Hope it's been good for you. It's great to see you all as always. Adrian still can't find her.
I'm public.
It's public. I'll try and add a link at some point. Thank you so much, guys. It's lovely to see you. We'll be back again. I'll be back again next Sunday at 6. I had an idea of what I was going to do. I think composting techniques. We seem to have talked about that tonight. Might be a subject we cover next week. But if anybody has any ideas, subjects they want to talk about, let me know. If you can send a video, especially if it's asking your question, that'll be fantastic. That'd be really great to try and get some videos with the question involved. Anyway, until next Sunday, take care.
See you later.
Which one is it? I can't see. That one.